As of right now, there are certain fighters who haven't competed in a short while where it seems very unlikely that they will ever make the walk to the octagon again. So here is 5 fighters who may never come back in the UFC. Number 5. After losing a close split decision to Robbie Lawler at UFC 195, Carlos Condit openly talked about walking away from the sport as he didn't have the same drive he once had. He decided to return and face Demian Maia at UFC on Fox 21, where he lost the fight by submission via rear naked choke in the first round. In the post-fight press conference, he mentioned that he wasn't sure if he had any business fighting at the top level and was considering walking away from the sport. He hasn't fought since losing to Demian Maia, and it seems as though he's taking time off, but it is still not certain whether or not he will be making a comeback. Number 4. Nate Diaz became a huge star in the UFC after giving Conor McGregor his first loss in the promotion at UFC 196 and his 5-round war with Conor McGregor in a rematch at UFC 202, where he lost the fight by a majority decision. Since that time, the UFC has offered Nate Diaz many opponents, but they don't seem to interest him one bit. It seems as though he's waiting for the third fight with Conor McGregor, which may or may not happen. I believe Nate Diaz has made enough money from both of his fights with Conor McGregor and doesn't feel the need to compete. Number 3. Since winning the UFC lightweight title at UFC 205, Conor McGregor has his eyes set on Floyd Mayweather, whom he will be facing in a boxing match on August 26th. His coach John Kavanagh has mentioned that Conor McGregor will likely make a return at the end of the year. Conor McGregor is reported to make $100 million in the boxing match against Floyd Mayweather. With that kind of money and him being at the top of the UFC, it could be the perfect time to walk away from the sport. I believe he has conquered everything in the MMA world and could easily walk away from the sport with his hand raised. Number 2. Nick Diaz is one of the most popular fighters in the UFC and always brings a lot of attention whenever he fights. Nick Diaz last fought Anderson Silva at UFC 183, where he lost the fight by a unanimous decision. It was later found that both fighters had tested positive for banned substances and was suspended indefinitely. Since having his suspension lifted, it has been very difficult for the UFC to book Nick Diaz a fight, as he has turned down all of the fights that have been offered to him. It seems as though he just wants to fight big names and isn't interested in fighters who he has already beat or fighters who are not well known. It is still not clear whether or not Nick Diaz has any interest in making a comeback. Hopefully, we get to see him back in action in the future. Number 1. Ronda Rousey lost her title to Holly Holm by knockout in the second round at UFC 193. After losing a title, she immediately disappeared from the MMA world. After taking a year off from the sport, Ronda Rousey was given a title shot against current champion Amanda Nunes at UFC 207, where in the fight, Amanda Nunes' power and fierce striking was too much for Ronda Rousey to handle, where Amanda Nunes won the fight by TKO in the first round. After suffering 2 beatdowns, Ronda Rousey's confidence in her abilities must be at an all-time low, and it doesn't seem very clear whether or not if she has any interest in competing at the highest level. Many believe that she is finished and will never return. What do you guys think? Will we ever see Ronda Rousey make a comeback in the UFC? Let me know in the comment section below. Thank you.